All right. All right, we're live. Get my mic and my camera together. All right, what's up, family? We're live right here on Ustream. Let me let everybody know what we doing up in this bitch. All right. We're live right here on Ustream. I'm just tweeting and everything. I'm live. Okay, people are in Twitter wanting to see where I am. Well, I'm here. I'm here. We're live and everything like that. Let me get the phone lines ready. I'm just getting all my stuff geared up in here and everything like that. How's everybody doing this beautiful Sunday evening? Excuse me. Let me see, not today. There you go. All right, so I'm getting it together. And let me see who's all up off in the chat room. Hold on, where's the chat room? Where we at? Where's the chat room? Who's in the chat room? The chat room is full. We're a lot of folks in the room. A lot of folks in the room. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. We're going to discuss me being on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Actually, I'm going to play the clip in its entirety and break it down while we watch it. I'm going to play the clip in its entirety, and then we're going to break it on down. Very funny interview with me and Jesse Lee Peterson. For those who don't know, Jesse Lee Peterson, he is a black conservative, and he and we had a debate on his radio show the other day. Very entertaining show. And we're going to play that debate between me and him. We're going to break it down, and basically, it's a lesson to teach people how to deal with people like that. Because, see, like I've always said, the white supremacists will put people like that out in the forefront so that the white supremacists don't have to say all their racist rhetoric, and they'll let the black person say it so the white supremacists can hide. So we got to have ways to deal with that. And watching the debate that I had with him, that's going to show people how to shut that on down real quickly. And not, excuse me, take it too, don't get too emotional about black folks who are put out there to spew racial rhetoric. You got to know how to handle them so you don't get too wrapped up in them. As Neely Fuller said, we don't get too caught up in shadow boxing. Boxing these shadows of white supremacists. A lot of other stuff we're going to talk about. We're going to get some calls. Let's get some calls now. Let's see who's on the phone. A lot of people are calling now. What's up? Who's calling?
Hey, Tariq, what's going on, man? This is Joe in Atlanta.
Joe in Atlanta. What's on your mind, Joe?
What's going on, brother? First, I got to thank you, man, for putting me on to so much knowledge. Dr. Francis Wilson and everybody else, brother.
Much respect. Much respect.
But I got a question for you, brother.
Go ahead, sir.
Why don't you love the coons? Because Jesus loved the coons.
Well, that's what
Jesus loved the coons, man. You need to love the coons, man.
Jesse said Jesus loved the coons. When he said that, I damn near died. That was hilarious.
When he said that, I almost jumped off my balcony.
I got that. I put that as my hashtag on Twitter, on my profile. That's my profile tag right there. That's the quote of the week. Jesus loved the coons.
Jesus for the coons. I said, what the hell did he just say?
I know, man. Hilarious. But thank you for the call, brother. Yes, indeed. So, like I said, I'm going to play that in a minute. Y'all need to be following me on Twitter and Instagram. If you online right now, everybody go to Instagram. Go to Tariq Elite, Tariq Elite. That's my Instagram. Everybody follow me right now on Instagram. If you're not following me, Tariq Elite on Instagram and Tariq Nasheed on Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming in. We're almost at 1,000 people already, so we in here. A lot of people said I should make Jesus Love the Coon shirts. Let's see who we got on the phone. What's up? Who's calling?
This is Kevin. How you doing, Tariq?
Hey, Kevin, where you calling from?
I'm from Virginia, man, but right now I'm in Tennessee. I drive a truck, so I travel.
There you go.
Travel a lot.
There you go. So what's on your mind,
yeah,
bro?
man? Yeah, man. I was just curious. Had you heard about a woman getting arrested at Valdosta State University this weekend for
the white lady.
Yeah, you heard about that, right?
Yeah, I saw that. That would, man. Let me explain. Oh, explain to everybody what it is. I'll let you explain.
Okay, this woman, her name is Michelle Manhart. She was she served in the military. She was in the Air Force, but she got discharged because she posed in Playboy with the American flag. She was nude behind the American flag. That violated like military code of conduct. So they reprimanded her, and eventually they gave her a discharge.
Okay.
So there was this protest at Valdosta State University. It was a small protest. Bunch of kids from the Black Panther Party minding their own business.
Right.
They weren't doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then so this woman comes up, and they were stepping on the flag in protest to everything that's currently going on with Black people in America today. So they were practicing their constitutional right, freedom of expression. So this woman goes and picks up their flag and tries to take their flag.
Right.
And so you see it in the camera. The girl's like, "Give me my flag back." The police come up, and
she was wrestling the flag from the police too. The police was trying to get the flag from her.
Yeah. Exactly. And so
basically, she was basically resisting arrest. They were like, "Okay, put your hands behind your back," and she was struggling. And people were kind of standing around like, "How come she ain't getting shot or tased or nothing?" And she's up here fighting with the police. And from what I understand, they brought her in, but they didn't press charges on her, from what I understand. And they let her go.
Yeah. They said that the protesters themselves didn't even press charges against her. So,
but they don't know. That's game though, because they don't need to press charges for the cops to press charges, because she assaulted the police officers. She was resisting arrest. So it's very interesting that people always try to say, well, this is not about race and race ain't got nothing to do with it. But people in the dominant white society, they can damn near beat up cops and nothing happens to them. You can resist arrest and you don't get shot in the back. Where's that? There's a video of like a whole family fighting the cops outside of a Walmart somewhere.
Yeah, you saw that too?
Yeah, and the cops were doing their damnedest to not use any kind of lethal force or taser or whatever. So, again, we got to stop playing this game that this is not about race, and Black folks are going to have to start getting a code of conduct so you can protect yourself from this nonsense.
I agree with you 100%, man.
Thank you for the call, brother. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be in Philly July 5th, and also I'm going to be doing a lecture in Detroit. That's confirmed. They're still working the venue out, I think. I think it's going to be, what's that at the, I can't remember. The African American History Museum. I think, I got to find out the information for you. But I'm going to be coming to Detroit. That's going to be on July 18th. So I'm going to be in the D July 18th doing a lecture. That's going to be on a Saturday. I'm going to get all the information for you guys. Absolutely. I've never done a lecture in Detroit. I was born in Detroit. So I'm going to be doing a lecture in Detroit July 18th. I have all the ticket sale information for you and everything. Oh, yeah, the game is going to be heavy. And, yeah, I heard there was a brother who got beat by the cops in Baltimore. He died. He was in a coma, and he died today, I think. Yeah. It's the Charles H. Wright Museum. I'll find out exactly the name of the venue, but it's going to be on July 18th. So the promoters, they pretty much put their deposit down. So that's a go. So that's definitely going to happen. So all my Detroit people, it's going to be popping. And what I might do, since I'm going to be in Philly, I might just add a couple of other dates myself. Like, I might just kind of tour it up. Just add a date in Atlanta and then add a date in New York. The thing is about Atlanta and New York is we always have trouble finding a venue that will accommodate everybody. Like in Atlanta, I would love to, I need a venue in Atlanta that will accommodate, at least 1,000 people. So I need that in Atlanta. If we can find a venue in Atlanta that can at least accommodate 1,000 people, around say 800 to 1,000 people, I can get that, and then we'll just Bam. Knock all that out. Come to Cleveland. Oh, yeah, James Small, he's going to be in Hidden Colors 4, too. James Small is going to be in Hidden Colors 4. Oh, yeah, Dr. Claude Anderson, David Banner, and Dr. Umar is going to be in Brooklyn on June 6th. Oh, that's going to be a hot one, man. That's going to be a hot one. What's up, Hot Double Diva? A friend of mine was calling the sellout black dude Coon. Check him, use the word. Okay. Yeah, I do need to go back down to Atlanta. I need a good sized venue. The last venue that I was in, I love the 7 Stages Theater. It's just too small. Last time it was just people were standing on it. It was just extremely ultra packed, and I want people to be very comfortable in the venue. So my Atlanta folks, man, holla at me. Nigga, did you say the Morris Brown College Gym? Nigga, we ain't about to shoot a scene from Lean On Me. What's up, Brian? You say, how do you get chicks from out of town? Well, shit, you campaign, you spit. You got an advantage when you're doing the out of town ism. I don't know, Jay Prince. I don't know what I'm doing a lecture out here. I do not know. Well, you know what I do? Look, I did a lecture out here. The last one I did out here was at was down in South Central, and that was a few months ago, I think. So I kind of just did one out here not too long ago. Let's see who's on the phone. What's up? Who's calling?
What's up, Tariq? This is Ahmad from Lima. What's up, man?
What's your name, brother?
Ahmad from Lima. Ahmad.
From Lima?
Yeah, Lima, Ohio, brother.
Okay, I'm like, where in the fuck is Lima? You said it like motherfuckers supposed to know, like Lima is really popping, nigga. The way you said it.
Yeah, you got mad support over here in the deep now, brother.
There you go. Well, what part of Ohio is Lima in?
It's right there. It's really the easiest way to explain it, brother. You're right between Toledo and Dayton.
Okay. How far from Toledo?
You about an hour from Toledo and about an hour from Dayton.
So now, out there in Toledo, y'all just had that neo-Nazi rally out there yesterday.
Yeah, on campus with my frat brothers.
Yeah. Wow. Well, did you see any footage from that? What was the deal with that?
Man, they had my dude sent me a quick little video. He was just talking about how the white folks was going crazy, and I told him, I said, yeah, my dude Tariq was talking about April going to be wild.
Yeah, that was heavy, man. But go ahead, what's on your mind, brother?
Well, I was just hitting you up, and I was calling to ask you, who do you listen to? Like, you know what I mean? I like to listen to you, and I listen to the What Morning Show, but besides that, like, who are you listening to on the daily?
Oh, well, you know, I love Neely Fuller. I listen to him. I like Jason Black, the Black Authority. Everybody should listen to Jason Black.
Right.
He's good. I like Combat Jack. His interviews are great. Combat Jack has some of the best interviews. He interviews a lot of hip hop artists, and they just talk about a lot of good stuff. They talk about a lot of deep stuff. So you definitely should check out the Combat Jack podcast. Real good stuff. And you know, I do a lot of reading. I listen to a lot of motivation tapes, and but I do a lot of reading though. You know, I do a lot of reading. A book that I've been recommending to everybody is When We Ruled by a brother named Robin Walker. People always ask me about a Hidden Color study guide, and I would say his book is the closest thing to a Hidden Color study guide. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to try to bring that brother out he's from London, and I want to try to bring him out for Hidden Colors 4. But this brother has a book called When We Ruled, and it just breaks down black history all the way back from Egypt to West Africa to the Moors. I mean, this brother breaks the shit down, and the book is like 800 pages, man. So definitely check that book out. And I also look at a lot of old stuff by John Henry Clark. I got a lot of stuff from Dr. Claude Anderson. You know, I listen to the greats. You know, Cher Herbert, Ali. A lot of the people that's been in my movies. These are the people that I'm fans of. You feel me?
Okay.
Old Bobby Hemmett. Bobby Hemmett. I mean, a lot of these brothers got old videos that's been out for years, and they got hundreds of videos out there. Brother Phil Valentine's videos. This brother has videos of him just spitting for 10 hours of hot fire. So there's a lot of folks out there that I listen to. You feel me?
Definitely. Yeah, get to Wyoming, man. You got to come to Ohio, man. Find your lecture in Ohio. We got to have you here in Ohio. I'm telling you, you got mad respect in the Beantown, folks.
Man, much love to my brothers out there. Thanks for the call, brother. And like I told everybody, man, I told people, man, you're going to have to watch out for the month of April. The month of April, the white supremacists, they turn up a little harder. They've already been turning up, throughout the whole year. But April is damn near, that's the month where they start really, really upping the ante in April. Because, see, throughout the year, the white supremacists basically just let the police do all the dirty work. But in April, you start getting white supremacist martyrs. You dig? They start going on kamikaze missions. And that shooting out there in North Carolina at the school, it was this teacher who got shot. The media keep ignoring the fact that the student that shot him was a major white supremacist. I mean, this dude on his website, he's part of all types of white nationalist groups. He's celebrating Hitler's birthday. He got all types of white supremacist tats all on his face, and they're totally ignoring that in the mainstream media, by the way. And we got this neo-Nazi march that just happened out there in Toledo yesterday. They're walking around with Hitler, talking about Hail Hitler, and whites got to fight back. I mean, man. Yeah, I know the book, When We Ruled, it costs like $250 on Amazon. There's some private sellers on Amazon that's selling it for around $50. But yeah, I want to get that brother, Robin Walker, I want to get him out here. The brother, he gave me the book himself. I was out there in London, and a lot of people were giving me books. And he happened to give me one. And again, I didn't really get a chance to chop it up with him because I was running around. But the book is just absolutely phenomenal. But hey, man, I pay that for books, man. I got some books from Harvard University on art with the African presence in Europe. And I got like this art book, these series of art books. And these books cost like 200 and something bucks each. But they're excellent books, though. Yeah, I do want to get him in Hidden Colors 4. I do want to get him in Hidden Colors 4. Yeah, Supreme Understanding, he's a very thorough brother, too. Supreme Understanding is very thorough. Yeah, I got some new stuff coming out. And speaking of London, my London lecture, that's going to be on sale. The full lecture will be on sale this week. I got a new lecture video. I haven't put out a lecture video in a long time. This one is called International Racism, live from London. So my live London lecture is going to be on sale this week. You can get it at tariqradio.com or tariqlive.com. I'll have that available for everybody. Yes, we're going to get Tahuti Mayag Ra. He's going to be in Hidden Colors 4. Dr. Boyce Watkins is going to be in Hidden Colors 4. We're going to start scheduling a lot of the interviews. I'm doing that as we speak, actually. We're going to be doing some interviews this week. I'm going to start flying people out here. Oh, yeah. That I got to talk about that Henry Gates and Ben Affleck thing. But don't forget, I'm going to have my new lecture, International Racism. That's going to be available. My London lecture, that's going to be available sometime this week. I will keep you guys posted on that. Real good game in that. You guys are going to really enjoy it. And again, stay tuned tonight. I'm going to play the Jesse Lee Peterson debate that I had with him. And I'm going to be breaking it down throughout watching it. We're going to watch it, and then I'm going to come back and forth and break it down. He said, put E40 in Hidden Colors. Hilarious. What's up? What's up? Who's calling? Hello? Okay. That shit didn't. Hello? Okay, nigga. Let's see who this is. What's up? Who's calling?
Yo, man, this is To Be Smooth, like the peanut butter. What's going on?
What's up, To Be Smooth like the peanut butter? What's on your mind, man?
I just want to let you know I just bought all 3 of the real copies of Hidden Colors 3,
Respect.
and I'm about to show it to my little brothers, man.
Respect. How old are your brothers? How old are your little brothers?
They just turned 18. They're about to graduate high school soon, and I called last time. You probably don't remember, but
I remember that name. I remember the Smooth like peanut butter. I remember that. But I forgot what you talked about, though.
Oh, well, the last time it was about, doing the show on the detriment of bootlegging, but the very first time I called was about when my little brother didn't know that the Moors were black.
Okay. That
yeah,
I don't remember. I don't remember. But again, check out my man Robin Walker's book where he really breaks that down. And also when they watch Hidden Colors, I mean, we got all the proof there. So, but yeah, let them watch the movie and let me know what they think about it, man. Thanks for the call. Now, speaking of knowledge and information, Hidden Colors, as you all know, it's the most successful African history documentary series ever. There's no other documentary series that's as successful as the Hidden Colors series. Now, that's the good thing. The bad thing is 60% of the sales are bootlegged. That's the bad thing. But we all know that Hidden Colors is the most successful Black history documentary. And when we first did the Hidden Colors series, we sent the movie to PBS because PBS, they were soliciting Black filmmakers who do documentaries so that they could show different documentary series on PBS. And I told y'all this before. We sent it to PBS, and PBS rejected the Hidden Colors series. We sent part 1, so they rejected it. And I'm like, really? Well, yeah. But it went on to be one of the most successful documentary series. Now, PBS, they're known for putting out those documentaries by Henry Louis Gates. Follow me. Now, PBS, they're known to put out those documentaries by Henry Louis Gates. Because PBS, they try to act all super duper extra liberal, but they're not that damn liberal. Y'all saw the story about what happened with Ben Affleck and Henry Louis Gates. Now, Henry Louis Gates, he does some of his documentaries are actually good. And also, again, some of the books that I got from Harvard, he edited some of the books. So some of his information is cool. I'm not trying to shit on all of his stuff. Yeah, that's the same dude who got arrested on his own porch. Exactly. But let me break it down. Now PBS, he's the darling of PBS. They put his documentaries out all the time. The Black in America, Black in Latin America, some of his stuff is good information, but basically, with Skip Gates, he gives a lot of good information. Unfortunately, it's that information that, well, you started at slavery. And also what he does is throws that, well, Africans enslaved other Africans. He throws that type of shit out there, which is how he gets his money. That's what the white supremacist likes to see. And so that's the thing that fucks with me about dude. He's a bootleg guy, too. So a lot of information with Skip Gates, you got to take with a grain of salt because he tells you enough of history, but he doesn't get too deep so that the white people who are funding him don't take the money away. So it was just leaked. Y'all know that those Sony emails were leaked. And something that just came out yesterday or the day before in some of those leaks, and they put this on WikiLeaks, was that Skip Gates did an interview with Ben Affleck on, he does this show where they get celebrities and they find their lineage. They start looking back and tracing their ancestry back, and found out that Ben Affleck, one of his ancestors was a slave owner. So when Ben Affleck found this out, Ben Affleck censored PBS. They made this whole big thing where he didn't want it to come out that his family were slave owners. So they took it out of the damn documentary. And it shows the emails between Skip Gates and the people at Sony talking about Ben Affleck. We did a story on this on melanoidnation.org, by the way. And that just shows that shows the integrity is somewhat compromised. Yeah, he did it with Nas. I know, he did it with Nas. And that just shows a lot of integrity is compromised with that show. If that's what you're doing, if people are censoring stuff out, what else are they taking out? Because Skip Gates also put out this stuff where a lot of black folks were saying that they had Native American in them, and Skip was like, "Oh, ain't no black people got no Native American. Not too many of us have Native American ancestry," which a lot of us do, though. A lot of us have been mixed up and mixed in with Native Americans, and many of us are the Aboriginal people here. Many people who are already here had the African phenotype, and that's something that the white supremacists don't want you to know, because then you can start taking and staking claim to some of those Indian benefits. That's why every few months you always hear about these so-called Indian tribes who kick the black members out. Y'all notice those stories that pop up every blue moon? That some type of Native member, the Cherokees, threw all the black members out. And it makes it seem like real Native Americans are shitting on black people, but the reality is a lot of these people who are so-called Native American are not Native American. These are like undercover white supremacists whose family paid to get on the Indian rolls back in the early 1900s. So these people are not even real Native Americans. We talked about that in Hidden Colors too. How all of these fake Native Americans are out here who ain't really Native Americans. You understand? So Skip was just telling all these black people, yep, you're not really Native American. Yep, you ain't got no Native American in your family. And the white supremacists love shit like that. So a lot of people are questioning the integrity of those shows now, as they should. Now I see why they didn't give us they gave us a rejection letter for Hidden Colors, because we brought the heat. So they out here censoring stuff and taking stuff out and hiding shit. And that's the problem when it comes to our history. People start fucking picking and choosing and taking and snatching and hiding. That's the main reason why we do the Hidden Colors series. And Skip Gates, man, they've been brothers in the scholar elders. They've been in Skip Gates' ass for a long time. Dr. Ben and James Small. They've been getting in his ass for years. John Henry Clark called Skip Gates a professional white ass kisser. I swear to God. There's a video of that. It's an old video. I want to find it, but Dr. Clark, who's one of the OG scholar elder warriors, who's now an ancestor, he called Skip Gates a professional white ass kisser. I think James Small called him Skip the Truth Gates. He be skipping the truth. Man. Dude, but yeah, that's one thing that they don't like you to know. They don't want you to know that a lot of these, like the Seminoles were basically black. The Seminoles were black, and again, watch Hidden Colors 2. We show you what the Native Americans really, really look like. Yeah, McKeffy, Dr. McKeffy Ashanti, he's going to be in Hidden Colors 4 too. He got in Skip Gates' ass too. And Dr. Ashanti is going to be in Hidden Colors 4. We're filming him in May. Wait till I introduce y'all to that brother. That brother, I got one of his books too. He brings that heat. So I'm bringing a lot of new faces in for Hidden Colors 4. Because we're getting real deep into Africa, man. We're going to really talk about a lot of stuff in Africa and just really bring the heat. But yeah, Dr. Asante, he said, because Dr. Skip Gates loved running around talking about how Africans enslaved other Africans, and the white supremacists love that shit. So they only give money to the Seminole Tribal Council. Yeah, man. Dude, I don't know. When you look at the so-called Seminoles now, those people ain't no goddamn Seminoles. That Seminole Tribal Council is a bunch of fucking white supremacists faking to be Indian. They ain't no damn Indians. Dude, we got photos of the Seminoles from the early 1900s. Man, those people were damn near jet black. We showed video footage of old Seminoles. They're jet black. But shit, that's the thing, man. The white supremacists, well, they will hustle and scheme. They will hustle and scheme. Skip Gates bashing John Clark. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, back in an article in '92, black demagogues and pseudo scholars. Yeah, so this is an old article from '92 where Skip Gates was doing a little tap dancing. He was what's this? He was talking. Recently attacked. Oh yeah. Skip Gates was trying to throw shots at Dr. Clark, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, who's a thorough brother. So Skip Gates, man, he brings good information, but he does a lot of tap dancing, man. And this coming out, and he's a boule dude too. So y'all need to go if y'all want to understand what the boule is. If you have not heard my pay-per-view special called Black Secret Societies, go to maclessons.com. Go to maclessons.com and look at the pay-per-view section, and there's a pay-per-view series that special that I did called Black Secret Societies. I really want y'all to listen to that. That's a heavy show. It's a lot of shit in there that people don't know about, and there's a lot of black folks out here who work for the white supremacists that y'all don't know about. The boule. The boule. B-O-U-L-E. I break it all the way down. Go to maclessons.com and check out Black Secret Societies. It's a pay-per-view special, and it's very heavy. It's very heavy. Yeah, my old pay-per-view specials are very thorough. And also on my Ustream, I made public some of my old shows. A lot of my older shows were private. So there's a lot of my older Ustream shows. When you get through listening to tonight's show, a lot of my older Ustream shows are now public. So some of my early ones, back in the old red curtain days. Y'all remember the red curtain days where y'all used to clown my curtains at my old house? Niggas used to talk shit about my red curtains. So I got some of those shows from the red curtain days that's open now. But yeah, that's funny with that whole Ben Affleck thing. See, they don't want you to know who family members are part of these old white supremacist groups and slave owners, because then you can start tracing them. You can find out where that money is, and you find out specific people whose family members were slave owners. Later on, you can start making claims against them. See, they want to keep that shit on the low. Just like Anderson Cooper. Anderson Cooper, his name ain't... Didn't he change his name? Because he's a Vanderbilt. Anderson Cooper's he's from a real powerful family. From CNN. Who got their money going all the way back to the slave trade. The Vanderbilts and all these people. His mom was Gloria Vanderbilt. Yeah, Dr. King was part of the boule. Jesse and Al, they're part of the boule. I've been on Zoe's show. I haven't been on the 5150 show, but I've been on Zoe's show. Yeah, Anderson Cooper. That's he's a Vanderbilt. Nobody's looking for them. Stop acting. I don't know what you're saying, Louisville. I kind of lost. I don't know what you're saying, brother. Yeah, but again, listen to the Black Secret Society special at maclessons.com, and it breaks all that down. There's a lot of these black organizations that even black people are not familiar with, because the thing is, a lot of white people are not interested in these because these organizations don't really affect white people, and black people really don't believe anything until somebody white tells them. But you got like Black Secret Society organizations like the Boule, like the Locks, like there's a whole bunch of them that black folks don't know about. Like Jack and Jill, which are the children of the Boule and the Locks. Let's see who this is. What's up? Who's calling?
This is Will.
Will, are you taking a shower, brother?
Yeah.
Brother, you sound like you taking a shower.
Funny.
You sound like you taking a shower.
I'm in Starbucks.
And you got your butt cheeks up to the goddamn shower window, nigga. The fuck you doing?
Outside.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm calling in because
you at You at Starbucks? You at Starbucks?
Yeah, I was at Starbucks on my computer. Yeah.
Oh,
you gotta do what you gotta do.
Okay, there you go. This nigga getting the free Wi-Fi at 9 o'clock at night. What city you in?
Oh, I'm in the Bay Area.
Okay, you out here on the West Coast. Okay, it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
My man is getting that free Wi-Fi.
I'm with you.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what's on your mind, brother?
Yeah. Well, a couple of things. Well, 2 weeks from now, I'm doing a dinner, networking dinner, showing a documentary. I was going to show you HC1, Hidden Colors 1, but I wanted to get your permission. And then I also wanted to donate some proceeds to either this movie or HC5 if you decide to do one.
Well, email me, brother. Email me, brother. Email me, and we can chop up game about that. All right.
Okay, cool.
All right, man. And give me a caramel frappuccino with whipped cream and a pumpkin loaf, nigga. All right, bro. I'm a holler, man. Brother calling from Starbucks. Yeah. You gotta, we charge to show hidden colors. So you got to get permission to show hidden colors, especially at schools. You know, schools will get in trouble trying to show those universities. You just can't pop it in there. You know, they got to get permission. And, you know, just like with any film on a commercial college campus, you know, you gotta get permission. And we have a screening fee, just like everybody else. Because what happens is that people, they'll be at those screenings trying to sell bootlegs. Speaking of the Bay, there's did y'all hear the story? Now the show Empire, you know, a lot of people are, you know, making claims that the story Empire is about them. There's a lot of people have been saying that. Speaking of the Bay, there's a lot of people saying that the story of Empire is about them. Well, didn't Puffy say it was about him? I'm going to talk about Jesse in 1 second. We'll get on Jesse. We got time. Just slow your roll. We got other stuff to talk about. But there's a few people who, wasn't it a basketball player that said the movie or the show Empire was about him? So a lot of people are saying that the show Empire is about them. So now there's a lawsuit by a guy named Ron Newt from San Francisco. There's a dude, and TMZ just ran the story, a dude named Ron Newt. And I think I've talked about Ron Newt on my show before, because I know Ron Newt. I've been knowing Ron Newt for years. Now, Ron Newt is an old school Bay Area gangster. Ron Newt, they called him Prince Diamond back in the day. Yeah, Ron Newt is an old, I think Ron Newt's almost 70, at least 70 years old. I don't even know, but Ron Newt is an old school gangster, pimp, hustler, big time dude from back in the day from the Bay. Old pimp from the Bay. And Ron has like $1 billion lawsuit. Ron just went all out. was like $1 billion lawsuit. But what's interesting, Ron Newt's story should be made into a major movie. He's a triple OG. I think Ron even told me that he was in the movie The Mac. I think he was in the movie The Mac. He's like in one of them scenes in that movie. So Ron Newt's been around for a long time. He's an OG. But Ron, he was one of those dudes. He was a big time street dude, but he was real connected in the music industry. He was connected with Michael Jackson. He was in with Michael Jackson, and he had his sons. There was a group called the Neutrons. All right, his sons there was this group, and they were signed to, I think, Michael Jackson's label. And, they didn't really pop off like they should have, but they were signed to Michael's label. I think one of his sons got killed. And I'm just digging a lot of stuff from memory, I think. And one of his sons is a guy named Jay Valentine, who's a great songwriter. Jay Valentine, I think he had a couple of record deals, but Jay Valentine is a very underrated dude. And Jay Valentine, he writes for a lot of people now. I think he writes for like Keisha Cole, Tank, a lot of people. Yeah. The group was called the Neutrons. Say Ron Newt put a hit out on Bubbles. But there are some similarities, but I don't know. I think he said that he talked to Lee Daniels and Terrence Howard and told him about his story because I think Ron Newt's wife had went to jail and then their sons were in the industry. It's a whole clusterfuck. It's a whole bunch of shit. But I think Ron Newt's story should be told independently. His story is crazy enough as it is. Brownstone and Michael Jackson's nephews, okay. But the Neutrons, they were somehow connected with Michael Jackson. I know that. Ron Newt and the Neutrons and all, they were connected with Michael Jackson somehow. Yeah, Jay Valentine, man, that dude is real underrated, man. That brother has some hot-ass songs, man. Jay Valentine is real underrated, man. That brother is very thorough. And you would never know that, he's like a real smooth, mellow guy. You would never know that his parents were these fucking gangsters from the Bay. You would never know. Niggas at 3T. Oh, let's see who this is. What's up? Who's calling?
Hey, how you doing, Tariq? This is Aaron. I'm calling from Compton, California.
What's going on? What's happening in the CPT right now, brother?
Man, a whole lot of nothing.
Oh.
I was calling to ask about economic empowerment. Basically, a lot of people, they don't understand like where to go to get help with that kind of thing. And basically, I was just asking, where would you go, or like what kind of things would you do for somebody who's trying to start their own business? Like, what kind of advice could you give people?
Well, what you have to do, we got to start thinking like the Asians think and all of these other groups. What they do, they get around people and they just soak up game. You almost become an apprentice. And also when you're working somewhere, because black people, we get caught up in getting a job forever and doing the same job for 30 and 40 years instead of using the skill we learned from that job to start our own business. This is what a lot of people in the Asian community does. They will work somewhere, look at all the mechanisms in place, learn how to build the stuff and find out what makes things work and then go build their version of it. They're very good at doing that. And we got to start thinking like that. We got to start, and white people do it too. They'll work with each other and learn the game, learn the mechanisms, learn the ins and outs of the game, and then take that and start their own company. Like in Hollywood, I do a lot of business with folks, and I might know an executive at one company, and about 6 months later, he ain't even there no more. He's at some other company running his own shit. So they done went to some place, learned the game, and then they bounce. So what you have to do, you have to become an apprentice. Now, that's tricky with black people because people in the dominant society, they will deliberately try to hide information from us. They don't want us to know certain things. That's why when we work at certain corporations, they'll try to keep us in the mail room. They'll just try to put a mop in our hand. But they try to, and this is all across the board. Even in Africa, when a lot of Africans go to Europe to go to school, they don't teach them the trade of how to mine minerals and how to monetize the diamonds and to utilize different machinery to get up gold and cobalt. They don't teach them that. They'll teach them all types of other stuff. So a lot of information is deliberately hidden from us. So we got to learn how to be more covert so we can start ear hustling and learning game, and also get around a lot of black folks who do know the game and not hate on them, because our thing, when we see a black person doing something fly, our thing is like, oh, that nigga ain't shit. That nigga think he all that. How come he don't get back to the community? Get that bullshit out of our system. Find a black person who's doing something fly and then soak up everything you can from that person. We got to stop hustling backwards and start giving props to folks in our community and learn from them. You feel me?
I got you, bro. Hey, thank you. Much love, and keep up with the good work, love.
Much respect, man. Thank you, brother.
Peace.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, man, information, we got to understand, is deliberately kept from us in the dominant society. Information is kept from us. Dude, my man was at Starbucks earlier. My man, I know you're at Starbucks. If you notice, and I got a Starbucks right up the street from my house. Now, white people be at Starbucks doing all types of business. White people just get there, they go to Starbucks and they be negotiating, doing business. I notice whenever I go in Starbucks and I see like a lot of white people talking or doing business, when I get too close to them, they'll stop talking. You ever notice that, black people? Go into an elevator full of white people. Right before you get on, they're talking out, hey, and we're going to do this. And when you get in there, they shut the fuck up. And when you leave, they get to talking again. They get real quiet when we come around. I notice that a lot. Because it's something in the dominant society, their code is to keep information from us, and they learn that code early. They'll stop talking in mid-sentence. Ain't that right, Texas lady? They'll stop talking in mid-sentence. They will change the subject and start talking about some other shit. They'll stop talking at the drop of a hat when we come around. Now, we do the opposite. When white folks come around, we get to run in our mouth. We tell everything we know. We get to run in our damn mouths every time white people come around. We tell everything. We get to tattle-tailing like babies. We tell everything. We don't know when to shut up around people. Oh yeah, they shut down. They shut down quick. So they got these codes of conduct, and again, like we said in the Hidden Colors series, like Dr. Claude Anderson said in Hidden Colors 2, the dominant white society, there's a rule of 6. When black people, when it gets to be around 6 black people, anywhere around the dominant society, the white supremacists, they go on alert. They'll let 1 or 2 black people around. Maybe 3. But when it gets to 6, there's a problem. In any circumstance, there's a problem. When you get 6 black people or more, they go into alert. It's something in the code of conduct. They go into alert, and then they start getting into white supremacist mode. The white supremacists go into alert. Not all white people, but I'm talking about the white supremacists. There's a down in Florida, we did a story again on melanoidnation.org. Everybody needs to go to melanoidnation.org. Make your donation today, by the way, because we bring all the heat on melanoidnation.org. There was some students from Flint. It was about 90 black students. They were from Flint, Michigan, and they were doing a tour. I forgot what they were touring about. But their bus broke down in Florida. It was a city, I think Live Oak, Florida, in northern Florida. This place happened to be a sundown town, basically. So now their bus broke down and they had to stay at the Econo Lodge. Now it's basically a sundown town. They got this, they're staying at this Econo Lodge. All of a sudden, 90 black people show up. the white supremacists started freaking the hell out. The people at this Econo Lodge freaked the hell out. They started talking crazy. They were calling the black kids niggas. The black students, they called the police because they were being treated so badly at this hotel. And the cops were basically telling them, like, hey, man, y'all might need to stay in your rooms because this place out here ain't too friendly to you people. The police are telling them this. It's in 2015, in America, in this post-racial America, we still got these sundown towns. And I did a show about sundown towns years ago. So Econo Lodge, which I haven't stayed in an Econo Lodge in a while, but since they want to support white supremacy, fuck them. So if you ever get the option to stay at Motel 6 or Econo Lodge, stay at Motel 6. Don't support white supremacy. Yeah, no, said North Florida is Alabama, technically, basically, same mindset. Dude, we did a whole story on this on melanoidnation.org. The hotel, the people at the hotel were calling them niggas and all types of stuff. And the cops told these kids that it would be best for them to stay in their rooms because that town it's not friendly to black people. So yeah, those 90 black people freaked them the hell out. Those white supremacists, they go into survival mode, man. So yeah, fuck Econo Lodge. Yeah, James Lowen. Yeah, I've been recommending that book for a long time, the Sundown Town book. I've been warning people about these sundown towns back since what, 06, 07? Oh yeah, there's sundown towns all over the place that to this day black people will still get harassed and you're not welcome. To this very day. Let's see who this is. We're gonna start playing the interview with me and Jesse. What's up? Who's calling?
Hello?
What's up, brother?
Yo, what's up, Chris?
What's up, man? You in jail, brother? You sound like you in a prison dorm, man. Hide your butt cheeks, brother.
Yeah. Hey, man, tell me why I edited the video on the JLP show.
They edited the video?
Yeah, I watched the live one in the morning. Next thing you know, I watched the one in the afternoon. They edited it.
Oh, really? What'd they take out?
But when the caller called up at the end, they fast forwarded. They wouldn't let him talk when he was asking questions.
Okay, I don't know, but I'm going to play that now. But thanks for the call, brother. Okay, that brother, man, I hope he sounded like he was in a juvenile delinquent dorm. Yeah, that sounded real weird. All right, but here we go. This is what we're going to do. So, we're going to play the interview I did, or the debate that I had with Mr. Jesse Lee Peterson. I did a debate with Jesse Lee Peterson. Now, Jesse Lee Peterson, for those who don't know, Jesse Lee Peterson is this black conservative, and, you know, they have him on Fox News all the time, and, you know, he says a lot of crazy stuff about black people, and, you know, I tweeted some stuff like, hey, man, this, because he was saying some kind of disparaging stuff about the Walter Scott situation with Walter Scott getting shot. And, you know, he kind of called me out. He's like, yeah, I'll debate Tariq and Mark Lamont Hill, and I'll debate them anytime. I said, well, damn it, let's anytime be now. I'll debate you. Come on my show. But he didn't want to come on my show. His producer's like, well, can you come on his show? I'm like, absolutely. Absolutely, I can come on his show. So I went on his show, debated him, and we're going to break down, this is how you debate people. Some people are saying this is one of the greatest debates ever. It was a piece of cake. It's very funny. It's very funny. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to break down how to handle and how to debate people like this. And this is, here we go. Now I'm going to be cutting in and out of the debate. I think he has debated Mark Lamont Hill before. I think he's debated him before. And the thing is, with people like this, a lot of times when people debate cats like this, they take them way too seriously. And you can seriously break their arguments down, but you got to know when to not take them too seriously and have fun with them a little bit. You dig? So this is the debate with me and Jesse Lee Peterson. Here we go.
Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. The Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show.
Last week, I appeared on Sean Hannity's show, Fox News there. As a matter of fact, that morning I did his radio show, and that evening, the same day, I did his TV show, talking about the shooting in South Carolina where a white officer shot a black man in the back and killed him. We saw this on video. There was an outrage about it. I debated Leo Terrell, and Leo is a black liberal attorney, civil rights attorney here in LA. And I've debated Leo several times in different situations. But Leo had a hissy fit and just put his tail between his legs and ran off studio there, out of the studio. But anyway, all hell broke loose. Everybody and their mama from around the world is responding to that interview. And Twitter, folks went wild on Twitter about that. I have with me Tariq Nasheed. Mm-hmm. And Tariq is a director, radio host, and author based in LA. He is a relationship expert and social commentator. He's directed black-focused documentaries, Hidden Colors 1, 2, and 3, and has written several dating books. I didn't realize you gave advice on dating and that you're here in L.A.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, that's how I got started. I started doing relationship books, and my books became bestsellers, and then I ventured off into documentary films.
So, how old are you?
I'm old enough to play a high schooler and old enough to play a high school teacher. So I say that. I don't know.
Oh, you're a teacher?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
And you have a radio show here in L.A.?
I do. The Tariq Elite Radio Show, TariqRadio.com.
All right. That's great, man. And we'll get that out again before.
Yeah, so I got my shades on because this is early in the morning. I don't get up this early. He said he spit on me. Now people are talking about sounds like he has some kind of little speech impediment. So I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's just like he's real country, but people kept talking about his speech impediment. It is what it is. But yeah, I got my shades on because it's like early as fuck in the morning. I left my house at like 6:15. So my eyes are bloodshot red. So my eyes are red as hell. It's early as fuck in the morning. I'm driving through that LA traffic, so that's why my shades are on. Because I didn't want to sit up there looking like, Michael Jordan after the playoffs. His eyes all red and bloodshot. So here we go.
I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
I really am glad you're here. I want to know, do you consider yourself conservative or liberal or?
I don't I don't do the partisan thing. Because I am a empowerment type of person. I'm into melanoid empowerment. People who are of melanated descent should be empowering themselves. And we live in what's called a system of white supremacy. And in that system of white supremacy, there is no Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal. There's only white supremacy and different branches of white supremacy. And that's what I challenge.
How do you,
Now I just go in, I just went in I just go for the jugular, right in. I dip in, bam, white supremacy. That's the first thing out my mouth. I'm like, bam, I'm just going in. And that's how you got to do. Don't let them get you drawn into that partisanship bullshit. But those are deflections, all right? They always try to throw their little smoke screens in early. So I shot that down very early. This ain't about no Democrat, Republican. I ain't on that. I'm not going to sit here and wasting time with that. I'm here to talk about white supremacy. Got it? That's how you got to do. Just go right in. Don't start bullshitting. Don't let them set you up to deflect, because that was a setup for deflection for them to start pointing to the Democrats and the Republicans. No, I don't do none of it. I'm all about challenging white supremacy. All right?
You encourage people of color to empower themselves by doing what?
Number one, knowing who they are, educating themselves on their history, educating themselves on how to empower themselves economically, and understanding how to create prosperous families who are about empowering the whole entire family.
Do you are you a Christian?
I'm non-denominational. I'm actually a ordained minister, but I'm non-denominational.
Oh, okay.
Because African people of African descent, we've always been spiritual people. So I really focus on the spirit of people instead of the particular religion, because a lot of the religions are man-made constructs, and the religions can be used to subjugate people. So your spirit is something that I really focus on. You either have good spirit or bad spirit.
And
So,
when you say non-denominational, do you mean non-denominational Christian?
no, just
Or
know that.
just no particular religion.
No,
itself?
like no Christian, Buddhist. I just don't claim a particular
I see.
title like that.
You have a church?
I don't. I just go around the country, and well, not just the country, go around the world doing my.
And for those of them, a lot of folks know I am an ordained minister, so I can marry you guys, or I can perform your funerals. So I'm an ordained minister, and I call myself an all-denominational minister because all religions come from the African spiritual system. So I represent all of them.
Thing.
You saw my appearance on Sean Hannity.
Yes.
So, I got to ask this: Are you're the starter of the Coon Train?
Yes, I created the Coon Train videos.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I've been hearing about this Coon Train thing for a while, and I think one of my staff members found it and showed it to me. That's an excellent idea.
Yeah, yeah.
How did you come up with that, and why?
I would just see a lot of people whenever black topics come up. There are a lot of the white supremacists are very good at deflecting, so they would usually get black people to do the white supremacist rhetoric for them so that the white supremacists could not be called racist. So that's what I call the Coon Train, black people who will jump in front of white supremacists and protect them by spewing out a bunch of white supremacist talking points like, what about black on black crime? Well, all white people are not bad. All white people are not racist. Black people need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. So that's what the Coon Train is, basically a bunch of black people who are put in front of the masses by the white supremacists to regurgitate white supremacy.
Now, did y'all see what I did right there? Did y'all see what I did right there? So basically, I just called out all of his arguments right there in his face. You got it? I just called out all of the arguments that he was going to use right there in his face. You dig? So now I've already weakened him, because again, that's the arguments that a lot of the white supremacists like to use, and they put the black people out there to use those arguments for them. So I just called out 90% of his arguments right there. Got it? And I did that on purpose.
Supremacist talking points so that the white supremacists won't be labeled as racist.
So if I hear you correctly, a coon is a black person, right?
No. See, certain words have different definitions based on who's saying it. When a black person calls somebody a coon, it's based on an action. That's a verb. The white supremacists, all black people are coons to the white supremacists. So it's a noun to the white supremacists. But when a black person says it, it's talking about an action that a person is taking. So cooning is a verb.
Oh, and are there white coons?
Well, you don't have white people who go off code too much, because a coon is somebody who's really jumping in front of people who are trying to sabotage their race and protecting the people who are trying to sabotage their particular race. So you very rarely have white people who do that with the white community. You understand what I'm saying? There was a video that came out recently of a guy who called himself a redneck, and he's a white gentleman, and he was calling out white supremacy, which is very rare, but it was a very good thing that he did that. And a lot of people criticized him within the dominant white society. So white people are criticized for speaking against systematic white supremacy, just like a lot of black people are criticized for speaking out against what some would consider cooning.
So a coon is a black person who jump on black and white issues, and they seem to be supporting the white folks.
A coon is basically a black person who's trying to get brownie points, or who's paid, or who's just trying to get a pat on the head from the dominant white society by throwing other black people under the bus. That's the working definition of what a coon is when it comes from the black community.
And most of the time, times, the Coon is disagreeing with most black Americans on certain issues.
But the Coon is agreeing with most white supremacists, though. So the Coon is not doing anything that's particularly radical or outside of the box. The Coon is basically regurgitating centuries-old talking points that the white supremacists have put out there, like black people don't have no morals, black people don't have no family values. Those are old white supremacist taglines that they've used to subject.
See that? Did you catch that? Now, I already know what his argument is going to be, so I've already further weakened his argument. I threw that out there, the whole family values, family morals. So I done already put his argument on Front Street. So now, when he goes to those arguments, I've already weakened them. Got it?
Black people.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, when black people start saying that, that's basically a form of cooning because they're just trying to get brownie points from the white supremacists.
The black people who are, quote unquote, cooning, do they attack the blacks who are not cooning in the same manner that the blacks attack the cooners?
I don't understand. What's the
Let's
question?
say that the blacks who are disagreeing with black Americans say that black people need to do this and do that to get better. Do those blacks attack other blacks in the same manner that they are being attacked?
Yeah, well, the thing is, there's a difference between attacking and criticizing, because I criticize a lot of stuff that goes on in the black community, but I don't do it for the entertainment or the betterment or the enjoyment of the dominant white society. I do it because I want the black community to be better. A lot of times black people who are coons will get in front of white people and say, hey, look at those blacks over there. They need to do better. So basically they're just trying to get brownie points, and they're not even speaking constructively to try to really help the black community. They're just trying to get that pat on the head from the dominant white society.
So I'm on your coon train.
Yes, you are. You were on the first one. You were getting it in on the first one, too. Yes.
And the thing I like about being on there, you really have me dancing really well.
You were getting it in.
And the last time I've been able to dance that good was in my 20s.
Oh, there you go.
So I do appreciate that. I say that most black Americans, not all, but most, are suffering due to the lack of moral character and not white racism, in that the family is destroyed. Black men are not there for the most part married to the black woman, and they are raising their children in the right way to go.
Okay. Now can we unpack that?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to a commercial real quickly?
We'll take a break and we'll come back and pick up on that.
Okay.
I want to know, is there coonery in that statement? All right. And we're going to get to your phone calls, 888-77-JESSE. Okay, folks, welcome back. Tariq Nasheed is here. And after my appearance on Sean last week, Tariq, you tweeted out, did y'all see Jesse Lee Peterson on Fox News talking about Walter Scott? He took the train to another level. You also, you put me on the first train, Coon Train.
Yes.
Video alongside Alan West, Clarence Thomas, Larry Elder, and Herman Cain. All those guys are such noble guys. And yeah, they're on your Coon Train.
Okay.
So I
think I died when he said that. When he said that all those coons were noble, you gotta laugh at shit like that, man. When he said that, I genuinely laughed my ass off. When he named all those coons, Larry Elder, really?
Just before the break, for the last 25 years, my nonprofit, we have been rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. We work with all men, but the focus is on the black man. We bring these guys in from around the country. We show them how to overcome anger. If they haven't finished school, we help with that. We help find jobs, start businesses, and we also help them to get a trade, start a trade, learn a.
What was that? And I should have checked him on that. Because a lot of stuff, when I look back at it, I should have got him on. But that whole overcome anger, what do you mean overcome anger? That whole angry black man shit. So that slipped by me. I should have got him on that. But a lot of little stuff kind of slipped by me. And, I do the armchair quarterbacking, and there's a lot of other stuff. But again, I got them on so much stuff as it is. But I wish I could have got them on more stuff. But here we go.
Trade if they don't want to go to college. And we now have started a school, private school for boys and girls, educating them. And we want to unite the races, and we want to rebuild families. Where is the coonery in that?
There's no cooning in rebuilding families, but the thing is, the cooning is trying to say that the family breakup is the reason why there's so much degradation going on in the black community. And the so-called family breakup only happened in the 1960s, really right after 1964. Before 1964, the majority of black families were together.
Right.
And you still had to deal with white supremacy. Back going to the 1950s, the 1940s, the 1920s, the early 1900s, there was a still disproportionate high crime rate. Black people were still funneled in what's called ghettos, especially during the first Great Migration when black people moved to the northern cities. They were living in the ghetto area, so to speak, because the white people moved out of those areas because of segregation. So black people, even when the family is together, we still have to deal with white supremacy. And unfortunately, brothers such as yourself, you guys just totally ignore the factor of white supremacy and just try to blame it on something that happened later on down the line, which the whole family breakup was because of systematic white supremacy as well.
How many times did I say white supremacy on this show? I think I did a record of, I think I said white supremacy at least 100 times on this show. And if you know, he would not acknowledge or address white supremacy at all. And this is just on the halfway point. But I think I said white supremacy about 100 times on this man's show, and he would not address white. He wouldn't even acknowledge it at all. You notice that? Yeah.
I grew up in, you probably noticed already, but for those who might not be aware of it, I grew up down in Alabama. We were just talking about during the break, you lived there for a while in Birmingham.
Yep.
But I grew up in Alabama, and I grew up under the Jim Crow laws.
Absolutely.
I remember for colors only signs, for whites only. Went to a movie theater once down in Eufaula, Alabama, and blacks had to sit in the balcony because we were not allowed to sit with white Americans. But the thing that we had going for ourselves as black folks during those days is that the family was together. Husband and wives were together. They taught their children how to respect themselves and others. They worked hard. They saved their monies. They had businesses. Even during those days, many black people owned land.
Absolutely.
And all those things. And it wasn't until the Civil Rights Movement started and under Lyndon B. Johnson that the government came in and offered black people welfare. You know, we're going to take care of you. You're not able to do it yourself.
But why did black people have to take welfare?
Yeah, I'm going to answer that in a minute. And so, but they said you cannot have a father in the home.
Absolutely.
And they did that because they understood that if you remove the father from the family, there is no spiritual head or protection or provider for the women and children, and that they will, for the most part, have to end up on welfare, being on the government. And that's when the breakdown started. But when the family was together, you didn't have crime in the black community such as we see today. You didn't have out-of-wedlock birth such as we see it today. And
we didn't have out-of-wedlock birth, but we did. The crime rate was still disproportionately high. See, that's something that a lot of people overlook.
No, you're making a good point.
Right, because you had all black chain gangs going all the way back to the 1920s. So the black crime rate was higher. Why was it higher? Not because of the family breakup. More things were illegal for black people to do. If black people, there's a sign, there's a drinking fountain sign right here I'm looking at. If we drank out of a water fountain, that was illegal. If we looked out of a window, that was illegal as black people.
Black people did better because those type of situations forced blacks to stick together as a family unit, to have
faith. But even though we stuck together, we were still criminalized, weren't we?
Yeah, it was rough in that, the laws were against us, but because the family unit, that order of God was there, God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, woman over children, the family did better as far as economic economically than they are today because their father was there. Now up north,
but how can you? But in the system
north,
of white supremacy, doing better, we need to eradicate the system of white supremacy. Like Malcolm X said, don't stick a knife in my back 9 inches, pull it out 6 inches, and say that's progress. The knife is still in our back, sir.
Well, Malcolm X did say that when he had anger against the white man, he joined the Nation of Islam.
There he goes, that anger talk. There he goes with that anger talk. See, he loves throwing that angry black man because that's what the white supremacists love hearing. See? And watch this, he's about to tell this lie about the Nation of Islam. All right, here we go.
But once he,
who wouldn't have anger over Jim Crow at the time?
I know, but let me make the point.
Right.
Once he went over to Mecca,
right,
he realized that there are all people who are working together and some are not, right? And he realized that the white man wasn't his enemy, so he dropped that anger. He came back, and he started to expose the Nation of Islam founder, and the name will not come to me right now, as cheated with these women in his religious organization.
Just like JFK did with Marilyn Monroe and all those people too, which people like to leave out.
But according,
caught that? See, they love trying to throw Elijah Muhammad under the bus. They love, and now threw that in there. They love trying to throw Elijah Muhammad under the bus. Well, he cheated with these women, just like JFK. And whenever they bring up Elijah Muhammad or Dr. King, bring up JFK too. All right? Don't let them get away with that. They love trying to bring up Elijah Muhammad. Let's talk about JFK and Marilyn Monroe and how him and his brother was running trains on her. Let's talk about all of it then. All right? I wasn't going to let him get away with that.
To Malcolm X, his life was threatened, and according to his book, he was taken out by the Nation of Islam. My point is, up north, you're right, when blacks moved from the south to the north, they did move into those projects. And
no. When they moved to the north, they were put into the project. They didn't move into it. They were put into the project by the government.
But why did the black man allow that to happen?
We're under military control. We've been outgunned. It's not that you allowed it to happen. You are outgunned in this country. We're subjects of white supremacy. We've been militarily defeated. So you can say, I'm not going to allow this to happen, but when the U.S. they pull out the tanks and the guns on you, what are you going to do?
So are you saying that blacks, when they moved from the south, were forced into into those projects by the military?
Yes, absolutely.
The military,
the government, which is backed by the military.
I noticed that my parents...
Tulsa, Oklahoma is a great example, by the way. Tulsa was a very prosperous area where black people were millionaires, black people were doing great, and the white supremacists came and just tore the community down. The government flew in planes and actually bombed the place. So the government is definitely part of that. The subjugation of African people whenever we have progress. And also, whenever there were prosperous areas in the black communities, they would just build freeways right through these areas, just especially out here in Los Angeles. They built freeways through the Central Avenue district, which was a prosperous African-American district.
My parents moved to East Chicago and Gary, Indiana. My uncles and aunts moved up there from Alabama. And none of them moved into the project. They all had their own homes. They all were working. My mother had 9 kids, and she stayed home throughout the whole time of raising them.
When was this? When was this?
This was, let me see, I left in 68. So this was during the 50s and 60s.
Okay.
And none of my relatives lived in the project. They all bought homes. They worked at the steel mill, Inland Steel, and other places. They did not end up in the project because my father and my stepfather and my uncles and aunts would not allow that to happen. Why did the black man, you saying the military forced the rest of them into the project?
Government, which is backed by the military. I'm talking about the government, the U.S. government. For example, after World War II in the 1950s, the government specifically gave VA loans and FHA loans to white people and denied black people systematically of those loans. And this created so-called white flight, which was government-backed. So white people were allowed to move into the so-called suburb areas. These leasing agreements were specifically stating that black people couldn't move
I've never heard that the military made them do that. But let me ask you this.
It's militarily backed, sir. That's what I'm saying. You're making it seem like they went in there with guns and okay, did you put the music on me, brother? Y'all put the music on me. Wow.
It's
boy, y'all slick. Boy.
No, look at the clock.
when I'm going there, y'all.
We'll let you finish.
Right.
I mean, no, it's the bottom of the hour break.
Okay, all right.
Also, I want to take some calls for you as well.
Now, y'all going to have some troll calls, some pre-planned troll calls. Don't have that, brother.
No,
all right. I know you're larger than that, brother.
Back in a moment.
Now, you notice that he kept playing dumb. All right? Now, he knew what I was talking about when I was saying that militarily, he was trying to make it seem like army troops were marching people in. He knew what I was talking about. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. That the government, which is militarily backed, and the police, that's the first arm of military. The police officers, that's the military arm of the United States government. Then a higher branch is the National Guard. So he knew what I was talking about. He knew exactly what I was talking about. He was trying to trip me up, but I stayed on him. All right.
I ain't gonna do you wrong.
All right, folks, welcome back. We are here Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time, 9 to noon Eastern time, heard around the world by everybody and their mama, and I do appreciate it. Tariq Nasheed is here, and talking about my appearance on Sean Hannity and the Coons.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Alan West and Clarence Thomas, Larry Elder, Herman Cain, and others, why are they Coons?
Because, again, a lot of these people are put into the limelight by the white supremacists to basically regurgitate the white supremacist talking points so that the white supremacists cannot be labeled racist. That's an old trick. That goes back to the meritorious manumission laws of the 16 and 1700s, where they would reward black people for throwing other black people under the bus. That's old.
And by the way, Elijah Muhammad was the founder of the
Nation of Islam.
Nation of Islam, and that's who took, according to what we read, took Malcolm X out because he revealed what they were about.
But we don't know that. The white supremacists took Malcolm X out. Malcolm even knew that the FBI
said,
was following him.
Malcolm
they were tapping his phone.
Malcolm said it was from Elijah, but I don't want to waste time on that.
But Malcolm later on, he said that the sophistication of the surveillance was way beyond the means of the Nation of Islam, and he knew it was bigger than that. Yes, he did say that. Yes, sir. Okay,
but
yes, he did, sir.
Look, because of time.
Wait, now, did y'all catch that? Did y'all catch that? Now he gonna tell me what Malcolm said and didn't say. Now, I see somebody just posted the page of where Malcolm just said what I said he said. He was like, well, the Nation of Islam took Malcolm out. I said, sir, no. Anthology, shout out to Anthology. In the autobiography of Malcolm X, chapter 20, page 446, Malcolm said, like I said on his show, that I'm going to stop saying that it's the Muslims because it's the level of sophistication, it's just not part of their capabilities. So he said his assassin, people trying to get at him, it's bigger than the Nation of Islam. So Malcolm knew that the government was trying to get at him. All right? So Malcolm knew. So just for the record. So now Jesse was trying to say, he was like, recant that and all that old boy. So it's in the autobiography of Malcolm X, by the way. All right?
So the Coons are the blacks who make it on their own, they think for themselves. Is it hard to believe that black people...
That's your definition, by the way, your definition.
Is it hard to believe that there are black people who can think and do for themselves and see what's wrong and express it without being a coon?
But how do you think for yourself when you're regurgitating white supremacist talking points?
So I'm asking first, is it a black person who thinks and do for themselves, or
no?
Is it possible for black people to do that without being a coon?
Well, you can think for yourself, but regurgitating white supremacists because you're regurgitating white supremacist talking points and you're not thinking for yourself. You're becoming a puppet for white supremacy.
Give me an example of thinking for quote unquote white supremacists.
Well, we're regurgitating white supremacist talking points.
Like
again,
what,
the whole
example?
Family structure. That's a white supremacist talking point.
Okay, let's deal with that. Hold on. Let's deal with that one thing.
Let's deal with that.
Is the family structure broken in a bad way in the black community?
It's broken nationwide.
In the black community, right?
In the black community, it is broken.
Right.
Since 1964.
And so why is it coonery to say that?
Because it's coonery to say that that's the only problem, and it's not racism.
No,
because that's what you said.
You
did say
it's the number one problem.
But you said it wasn't racism. You said it wasn't white racism. It's the black family structure.
Right.
But the problem with the black family structure is because of white racism. And also, when the black family was together, we still had to deal with white racism. So
why don't you?
My question is, why don't you ever criticize white supremacy? In your eyes, can white people do any wrong?
And I'll answer that, but I want to ask this. I will answer that.
Yeah, you keep deflecting, brother.
Yes, whites can do wrong. But my focus is to wake up Black Americans to rebuild the family, to get away from the government, to start, as we did prior to the Civil Rights Movement, doing for themselves.
But we still have to deal with white supremacy. We can do that, but after we do that, what are we going to do about white supremacy?
What is the best way to deal with quote-unquote white supremacy?
Black empowerment.
And what is Black empowerment?
Economic empowerment. That's one thing that
to build family, build character, build your own businesses.
Build your own economics, exactly. Right. And we have to understand that the white supremacists, they've always sabotaged that in the Black community. So that's something that we can't ignore. We can't just say, well, it's just the family we need to build up. When we build up the family, what are we going to do about the white supremacists out here? No. Trayvon Martin didn't get shot because of a family structure.
I want to just ask
Walter Scott didn't get shot because of a bad family structure. Jordan Davis didn't get shot because of a bad family structure. We're dealing with a system of white supremacy.
Oh, that's a good point you're making. Had Trayvon Martin parents, Michael Brown parents, been married?
They were married, but they got divorced and he was staying with his dad.
Had they stayed together and had they raised their children in a good way to respect themselves and others and
so you're saying Trayvon Martin got shot because he didn't respect himself?
My question is, would
you ignored that?
Let's do Michael Brown first.
Oh no.
Okay,
let's go back to Trayvon.
See that? You see that? Let's do Michael Brown. So now I already knew with the Michael Brown thing, they were going to go into the whole Michael Brown robbed the store. So I already knew that. So I'm like, no, let's stay on Trayvon. All right? I brought him back. They were going to try to misdirect and start talking about thugs and robbery and all that. Got it? I wanted to stick to Trayvon. I brought him right back. All right?
Would Trayvon have been smoking pot, calling himself a thug?
Did that get him shot? Was that why George Zimmerman killed him? Smoking pot should not get you killed.
Had they had a strong family and a good father they respected.
He had a father, sir. He was staying with his father.
No, he was staying with different people.
He was staying with his father.
Now, my man we're just reducing himself to lying. Now, we all know that Trayvon Martin was staying at his dad's house, right? So my man started using those white supremacist tactics of just lying. When you lose an argument, you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna just start lying. But Trayvon Martin was staying at his dad's house. When he got killed, he was on his way to his dad's house. Okay, so you got to know how to maneuver around that Coon talk, all that stuff about Trayvon. He was staying with his dad because now he just contradicted himself. If they need fathers, the reason why these kids are getting killed, they ain't got no fathers. Well, Trayvon was staying with his dad, sir. No, he wasn't. Yes, he was. So he just started lying, just straight up lying. That's how the white supremacists do. When they lose an argument, they just start lying. All right.
At his father's house.
But my question is...
You deflected.
No, my question is, had they had good fathers and mothers guiding them who stayed together, raised their children...
Had he not been shot by a suspected white supremacist, he would be alive. Had he not been shot by a suspected white supremacist...
I'm trying to ask about the coonery thing.
Okay.
Had the family been tighter and stayed together and raised their children, would Trayvon Martin and others been different types of people?
Well, no matter what type of person he was, he shouldn't have been killed. A kid shouldn't have been killed
answer
by
that question only about character.
Your character has nothing to do with you getting shot by some psychopath.
I'm asking, would they have been young men of character?
Your character has nothing to do with you getting killed by a psychopath.
Well, that's put aside. Would they have been men of character? Because you're saying that we are
Sir, that's like asking me... If the people in Germany, if they just would have pulled their pants up, would they not have been slaughtered in the Holocaust?
Why would you answer that question?
Because it's a question that literally makes no sense. It makes zero sense.
Let me ask this.
Hearing that Coon talk, you got to really contain yourself because all this stuff about Trayvon Martin got killed because he didn't have character, that will piss you off, but you got to be cool and you got to just show the ridiculousness of the argument. And that's the thing. You got to be cool with it. Because that Coon talk will piss you off. You dig? So just show the ridiculousness of what he's saying. I wasn't really getting pissed. I'm like, what you're saying, sir, ain't making no sense.
And you know it don't make no sense. It's a deflection, Jesse.
So you don't think having
you being messy, Jesse?
You think having a father and a mother together raising you and setting a good example is not a good thing?
I didn't say that. You keep
Is it a
trying
good
to.
thing?
It's a great thing.
Okay, let me ask this.
But what about
that's another thing too. When these cats will try to change the narrative or make their own narrative, they say, well, being a coon is having a good family structure. So they'll try to redefine something. So you gotta correct their redefinement. Got it?
I don't deal with white supremacists. I don't know what you mean by that because I've seen growing up. Let me ask you the question. I have seen growing up with white.
You don't know what white supremacy is, brother.
I'm trying to answer the question.
Okay.
When I was growing up, white supremacists were a lot.
Now I asked him. I said, "How come you don't acknowledge white supremacy?" He was like, "I don't deal with white supremacy." So that should let you know everything about this dude right there. I just straight up asked him, how come you never acknowledge white supremacy? Oh, I don't deal with white supremacy. So that just lets you know everything right there. To get him to admit that. So nobody's ever gotten Jesse to admit that he doesn't deal with white supremacy. Nobody, after all these years, this dude's been around for years, spewing this rhetoric, and nobody's ever asked him just straight up, how come you don't deal with white supremacy? Oh, I don't deal with that. That just tells you everything you need to know right there. Just, you see, you can expose these people very easily by just not falling for their deflections. Just start going for the jugular. All right?
Alive and well.
Right.
And yet we did better because we had family, we had fathers and mothers. We were taught to work hard, manage our lives. And we did better then than black folks are doing today.
How so? How so? How did you do better?
Tighter families.
But you would get lynched at the drop of a hat.
No,
brother. You would get lynching was at an all-time high.
Not at an all-time high.
Yes, it was at
but
an
that's
all-time
not today.
high.
But I want to
again, the dude, he'll just reduce to lying. During the Jim Crow era, lynching was at an all-time high. See, he's using those white supremacist talking points, trying to pretend that before 1964, the black community was just fine. It wasn't just fine. There's a reason why we had a civil rights movement. You dig? They're trying to make it seem like there was this utopia and we were going through white supremacy. Lynching was at an all-time high. So the dude just started lying. Oh, no, it wasn't. It just, all right. All right.
You couldn't go. You were suffocated. You couldn't go to certain places.
I need to ask you this because when we come back, we got to take some calls.
Okay.
Do you love, do people who attack black conservatives, they're called coons and niggers and Uncle Toms and sellout. Do you love the coons?
Do I love the coons?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't.
Now, this is the funny part right here. This shit is hilarious. Like, now he's going to try to make a spiritual play. All right? So now, logically, I done whooped him logically on all the topics. Now, because he can't just keep lying. All right? Now, he's reduced to lying about stuff, so now he knows that ain't going to look good. So now he's going to try to make a spiritual play. All right? Do I love the coons? Now, that's, again, another white supremacist tactic. When they can't get you logically, when you start beating them up logically, then they start trying to get spiritual on you. All right?
What kind of questions are these? Do I love coons?
Yes.
For what? Why would I love a coon?
Is that a yes or no?
I don't love no coon.
You hate the coons?
I don't hate them. I don't love them. I want the coons to get away because
do you
coons
care about the coons at all?
I do not. I don't really care about coons.
But why not?
Because coons have always sabotaged black progress.
But suppose
we could have been out of antebellum slavery because we're still in a form of slavery. White supremacy is slavery within itself. But the first stage of slavery, which was antebellum slavery, we could have got out of it long ago if it weren't for the coons telling and snitching and being comfortable in that position.
But suppose the coons don't know that they're wrong. Why not show them love so that you can correct them.
So I got to hug a coon?
Because you're a pastor. You're a preacher.
I am, but I'm not
Should
trying
you
to hug.
show love? Well, we're not talking about hugging and kissing.
Jesus
but having
rebuked the
patience with
demons, and that's the coons are demons, and I'm rebuking the coon demon and the coon spirit.
But
just
you
like
don't
Jesus
do you
did.
love the coons?
I don't love the coons.
You don't love the coons.
No,
But Jesus
coons are
loved the
evil.
coons.
No, but Jesus ran people out of the temple when
Back
they
in a
weren't
moment.
on top of their game.
Back in a moment. We'll take some calls.
You said Jesus loved the coons. That was the quote of the day. We were retweeting that all day. When he said Jesus loved the coons, that was it right there. That's on my Facebook. If you look at not my Facebook, but my Twitter and Instagram profile, that's what I got. Jesus loved the coons. So now he's trying to make a spiritual play. All right, here we go.
Hey! You got to pay back. Revenge.
I'm looking at the clock here, folks, and the time is going by like 90, going north.
Yes.
I need some quick yes or no answers, and then I want to go to the phone for you, all right? In 1964, out of wedlock birth was 26% for black people.
Now, y'all catch that? Now, I want some quick yes or no answers. So now he's about to throw a bunch of bullshit talking points, and he don't want me to break them down. Got it? So watch that little trick he tried to do. I want some quick yes or no answers. All right? Now, he's about to throw a bunch of bullshit talking points that he don't want me to break down and decipher. All right?
Today it is 73%. Is that good? And is that hurting the black community in any way?
It's definitely hurting the black community because the white supremacists orchestrated it. So it is bad.
White people making them have babies out of wedlock?
They've orchestrated the family structure to be marginalized, and they've taken the black man out of the home. So the white supremacists are responsible for that. Economic deprivation and other things.
Why is it that the black man is so weak that after all these years, he allows that to happen?
You tell me. You're black. How come you allowed it to happen in the 60s? You're much older than me. You didn't. Why did you let it happen?
Not as a group, but individually. Why? Because it's not happening to me. You know, it never happened to me. When I was growing up on the plantation, we worked for ourselves. We never relied on the government. We did for ourselves. Let me ask
you. But
you're
black, though. You know what I'm saying? So you're part of the black collective as well, and that's a question that you have to pose to yourself. Because were you too weak to let that happen to the black community?
I am. First of all, I'm not a part of the black collective or the white collective.
Oh, really? What part are you from?
I am an American, and I love what's right, and I have the same love for all people, including my enemies.
America is only 200 years old. What were you before you were an American?
Before I was born?
No, but what were you before you were an American genetically? Did you come from like the Coontron Milky Way galaxy or something? And you came over on a flying saucer full of butter biscuits and landed on the plantation?
No,
Where'd you come from?
I was born in Alabama.
Right.
I was born here in this country.
But you say you're an American.
He walked right into that one. I had to get him. Now he's talking about I'm not really black. I ain't part of the black collective. I had to get him. I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to say he was from Coontron, but I had to get him. Like, where the fuck are you supposed to be? He wouldn't admit to being African. He would not say that he's African for shit. The dude wouldn't even say he was African, man. I had to get him. I didn't want to have to go there, but I had to get him on that one. I didn't want to embarrass the dude. Like, where are you from? I'm an American. I'm not part of the black collective. All right, nigga. He would not admit to being African for nothing. All right.
What were you before you were an American genetically?
I have always been an American.
But America's only 200 years old. Before you were an American.
I have always been.
I understand that.
I was born
genetically.
Here. But let me ask you this.
Okay, go ahead. You're going to deflect, but go ahead, brother.
Right. I was looking at kind of getting a little background on you last night.
Yes, sir.
And I noticed that guys like you are very talented.
Mm-hmm.
And
you call me a radical on Twitter. What's a black radical, by the way? What's a black radical?
A person that attacks others and call them coon rather than coming together to work out the issue.
But you can't work an issue out with a coon, though.
But you can.
Coons are there to sabotage black progress.
Let me ask this.
Go ahead, sir.
And I'm a coon along with Kobe Bryant, Don Lemon, and others, according to this report. How am I am helping to rebuild families. I'm showing blacks how to overcome their anger, encouraging them to get married before having children out of wedlock, to start businesses, to get a good education, to love instead of hate.
But you won't speak out against white supremacy. You ignore white supremacy, and you make excuses for white supremacy, and that's the problem.
How is that holding black? Am I holding black people back by doing those things?
But you're not. You're making excuses for white supremacy, and you're giving leeway to white supremacy, and you've become the mouthpiece of white supremacists.
Am I holding blacks back, though, by doing those things I do?
It doesn't hold black people back, but it sabotages black progress, because when the white supremacists, when they go out here and do things, they put you out there in the forefront, and they hide their deeds behind you or people like you, sir.
Where is your proof that they're putting Clarence Thomas, Allen West, Larry Elder, Herman Cain, Kobe Bryant, Don Lemon, and me out there?
Because people who challenge white supremacy are not put in the spotlight like that. That's why.
So that's your proof?
That's the proof. The people that they put out there, those people you name, who we see
this is what I want to say.
We see all the time talking about so-called black issues. These are the people they put in the forefront.
All right, now he's about to deflect, and that's another thing. He really started to deflect into just totally different topics altogether after this.
Instead of people who can really challenge systematic white supremacy.
Do you support same-sex marriage?
I don't care about that. If people want to do that, that's it.
Now, that just came out of nowhere. I'm like, what the, okay. Oh, that's another white supremacist trick that they learned. My man just started talking about something totally different. I'm like, okay.
But you don't support it personally.
It's not a part of what I do.
Do you support it personally?
If they want to do that, that's fine.
I know that, but do you personally support it?
I haven't really thought about it like that. It's because it's not an issue for me. I'm not in that community.
How about abortion?
I don't mind them doing what they do. Yeah. If they want to do that, let them do it. I'm not going to protest.
How about abortion?
Abortion, that's fine. If people don't want to have a kid, I support abortion.
You know, I was thinking, and I want to make this point because I realize you guys have good talent. I love the Coon Train. I look forward to it.
And it's satire. It's fun. It's satire.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But why don't you take your talent, and you still can do the Coon Train thing, but why not expose what's happening, really killing black Americans, like abortion, for example, every day, according to blackgenocide.com, 12.
Now, it's abortion that's the black problem. So they'll change the subject and, dude, it's white supremacy. And that's the thing, dude. Don't let them try to blame all the ills on certain little things in the black community. It's all orchestrated by the white supremacists. Always keep that in mind.
1,800 black babies are aborted every day. And a lot of black people don't know that. Young black girls are having abortion like 90 going north, right?
I understand that. And the abortion, and that was the Planned Parenthood that was caused by the white supremacists, Margaret Sanger, and all of those eugenicists and all these people. Yeah, I'm very familiar with that.
70% of Planned Parenthood abortion mills are in the inner cities.
So why do you not criticize the white supremacists for orchestrating something so devious like that?
I do criticize that. We've protested, though. We've tried to shut down the mills in the communities. And but we can't get you guys to get on board. My question is, why not make videos and films? Because people watch your videos. Why not go in the community and expose those things as well? Because you love the blacks, right?
I understand that, but once we stop abortion, now we got to stop the white supremacists for killing people when they grow up. So what are we going to do about that?
But you can take one step at a time, and you can put the abortion mills out of business.
White supremacy is the major step. We always want to take other steps besides challenging and replacing the system of white supremacy.
Why not take your videos and do the Coon thing, but also
I do documentary films too. The
expose real white supremacists by exposing Margaret Sanger and the abortion mills that are in the inner cities, the black-on-black violence. Let the people
which is
see
orchestrated
that.
by white supremacy. Black-on-black violence is orchestrated by white supremacy.
But my question,
now, y'all know he wasn't going to let the interview or the debate end without him throwing the "what about black-on-black crime?" You knew the Coon Train classic. He was going to throw that in there. He had to throw that black-on-black crime in there.
My point is, you have great talent.
Yes, sir.
You can impact them by waking them up, allowing them to see those things too, And once they're educated about those things, maybe more black people get out there and stop that. Why not do that?
But I can do that, and I do that. I do that all the time. But then
You
after
did
we do
things
that,
on
I do
abortion?
that. I talked about abortion in my
No, have you
documentaries.
done-
I have.
you done
In my
video?
Hidden Colors documentaries, we talked about Margaret.
And by the way, family, we talked about Margaret Sanger and the abortion and the eugenics and all. We talked about that in Hidden Colors 1, by the way. All right? I did a whole horror movie called The Eugenist. You guys go to iTunes and look up the movie The Eugenist. It's a horror movie that I did a couple of years ago that you can watch on iTunes. So we've addressed that, by the way. All right?
And abortion and Planned Parenthood, we talked about that.
Yeah.
And after we talk about abortion, we still got to go right back to white supremacy because that's the main
you're right
culprit.
about Margaret Sanger.
Right.
I want to get some calls in. I can go on and on.
Well, I
with
swear,
you.
you will change the subject. When we start talking about white supremacy, you change the subject.
Let's go. I'm not changing. I'm looking
Boy,
at
you
the
are
clock. I
messy,
have on a
Jesse.
minute.
Jesse,
Let's
so
go to
messy.
Kevin out of
Go ahead.
Arizona. Kevin, you're out. See,
We got the
it's
music.
a break time.
Man.
Hold on, Kevin. We'll come back to you. We're going to have you back. That's what's needed.
Yes.
Okay. Back in a moment, folks.
The beat goes on. To bring some loving here today. Oh, picket line.
All right. And I think this is the last segment, so it's not that long. So this is the last segment.
And picket signs.
These are times, it's times like this when I wish we could avoid commercials and things.
Yes, indeed.
Tariq, give out your website, tell the folks how to get your books and get to your radio show and all the things.
Yes,
you're doing.
indeed. They can go
and
to-
watch the Coon Train.
Yes, the Coon Train.
Am I
on
going to make
YouTube.
the Coon Train this year?
Yeah, we might have to get another one for you. But you're doing a solo dance down the Coon Train.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, TariqRadio.com. That's where you can listen to my podcast. Get my documentary films at HiddenColorsFilm.com. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Tariq Nasheed and follow me on Instagram at Tariq Elite.
All right. And will you come back?
I will absolutely come back. And you'll come on my show, right?
Anytime.
Yes,
I would
indeed.
love to. I want to get to the call, and we have about 3 minutes left here. But
Okay.
someone texted me a while back. They want to know, why didn't white supremacy stop Oprah, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Bob Johnson of BET?
That whole argument. Here we go. Y'all heard this argument. Well, Oprah, white, ain't no racism because of Oprah. Ain't no racism because of LeBron James. Ain't no racism because Michael Jordan got some money. All right, that old argument.
They're all billionaires. Why weren't they stopped by the white supremacists?
Because white supremacists will always put a few black people in token positions and will leave the other black masses in a system of deprivation. So white supremacy has always had tokenism.
So those people didn't make it on their own?
They didn't make it on their own, but just
They
because they
did or
made
they
it on their
didn't?
own, they made it on their own. But just because a few black people are in what's called token positions, that don't mean that white supremacy doesn't exist for the
So
black masses.
is Obama in a token position
Yes,
as
he is,
president?
because he cannot even say African American, let alone do anything for African Americans. So he's in a token position. Absolutely.
Kevin, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding you on the air.
Hey, guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good morning. Good to speak with you, Mr. Tariq Nasheed and Mr. Peterson.
Thank you.
I want to say everything that you're saying, sir, is actually putting holes in all of your arguments, and I want to know why. Here's my question. Mr. Tariq Nasheed comes on the show and has all these excellent points, and it reminds me that there is a Negro, a Sambo, in every single capitalized society. In Australia, it's the Aborigine. In Brazil, it's the Sambo.
Ask
in
your
Northern
question
America,
because of time. Get to your question. I'm running
Okay.
out of time.
Okay, so why are you capitalizing off white supremacy?
And how am I
It
doing
seems to me
that?
that how you're doing that is by pushing the agenda. Everything you say is an oxymoron. Psalm 9:9 says the Lord is a stronghold for the oppressed, but yet you say we're to love the oppressed.
Okay, so let me ask.
you-
So by rebuilding the black family is wrong?
No, that's not what you're doing. You're making
About
money off of...
no, hold on. By educating blacks, by starting a private school without any money from the government, is that wrong?
Yes, because you're
That's
teaching
wrong.
the oppressed to love their
No, we're
oppressors.
teaching reading, writing, and arithmetic, and we teach them a trade. Is that
No,
wrong?
you're playing James Brown, I'm mad, and Marvin Gaye. What's
I got to
going
run.
on?
I'm sorry. Tariq, come back again.
I will
all right?
definitely come back, and Jesus loved the coon.
Now the callers are giving him work, and now he hung up on the callers. Even the callers were getting it in too. He hung up on them. That was the end, basically. So that was the end. So that was the debate with me and Jesse Lee Peterson. So that was very entertaining. That was Texas Lacey, along the Black Family, arithmetic. Y'all get off that brother's speech. Jesse's doing the best he can. Yeah. Man. Well, that was me and Jesse Lee Peterson. That was good. That was good. That was entertaining, man. So that's how, and I was doing that for you guys, so you guys could know how to handle those jive-ass talking points that people like that and the white supremacists like to bring up. All those jive-ass talking points they like to bring up, you got to know how to handle those. Let's see who this is. What's up? Who's calling?
Hey, what's going on, Tariq? This is Chris from Southern New Hampshire, man.
Hey, what's up, Chris from New Hampshire? How you doing, brother? This is the white gentleman. How you doing, Chris?
Yes, I'm that guy who emailed you last week.
Yes, indeed. Chris, he's our guy. He's our go-to guy, our inside man to help us understand and let us know what goes on in the system of white supremacy. And he gives us access that we're not really privy to. So you were telling me about some guy who was doing some stuff. He's like a white supremacist where you live, and what was he up to?
Man, he was just making some real questionable posts on his Facebook, man. I mean, after the whole Mike Brown thing went down, he changed his profile picture to Darren Wilson, and then back in November, somebody on his Facebook posted a meme of a dead black kid laying in the street, and there was like blood pouring out of his head.
Yeah.
And he liked it, and then he started laughing at it. So I thought that was real suspicious. And then afterwards, not too long ago, there was this cop in Worcester, Massachusetts, who was brought up on civil rights violation charges because there was this black dude who he started making racial comments to, and then he assaulted him while he was in a jail cell. And then Eric was saying, that's his name is Eric. I used to go to high school with him.
Yeah.
He used to say that, he was saying that, why they arrest the guy, they arrested the cop. What the fuck? Why the hell did they do that? So I was like, this dude's really questionable. So,
yeah.
When I called you back in October, I agreed to, let you know about some of these questionable dudes. So I thought he was just very questionable. That's why I decided to email you about him.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, yeah, definitely keep us posted on what goes on with these white supremacists, because we need to know this stuff, man. And that's one role that you can play to keep us posted on what's going on with these folks, man. And also, yeah, email me some more stuff, man. Thank you for the call. Let me see who else we got here. What's up? Who's calling?
How you doing, man? This is Mar from Brooklyn.
Mar from Brooklyn. How you doing, fam? What's on your mind?
Oh, man, I'm great. I'm happy because it's like the older I got, a lot of white girls are just having bodies and they're choosing on me hard now.
Okay.
These black girls got competition now, man.
All right,
but
all right. So now,
what I wanted
all right. So you get the white girl, and then what?
No, it's just like it's out of my element. I never knew, because it's weird. Like I was at the bus and I was waiting for it, and then these white girls in a coupe pulled up and they screamed, "We want you to come with us, come with us." I was like, what the fuck?
Okay, so it just made your heart flutter that some white girls chose up on you, huh?
Nah, I love my black girls though. But here's the thing, man. It's really, at the end of the call with the Jesse Peterson thing, when that brother called up, oh my God, he was putting in that work. I loved it.
Yeah.
But on the YouTube video that you showed on your Facebook, it's like, I don't know, they skipped everything he said out of it. And I was really mad at that. But I'm so glad that you put on the actual audio of it, and I heard everything he said because he was just on point.
He missed it. But okay, got it. So let's go back to this, the white girls choosing you and all that stuff. So now you're like, oh, black girls got competition. Black folks need to get off that bullshit. Look, let me tell you something. Just because these motherfuckers are choosing up on you, they're trying to give you some ass, and just because sisters, white dudes are winking at you and all that, that does not, hey, you date whoever the hell you want to date. But we got to start thinking, how is this going to empower us? Because my thing is this, when black folks, unfortunately, when white people have sex with us, we get confused. See, they're not confused. Now, if you're a true player about yours, you can wade out the confusion. But a lot of black people, the minute a white person is sexually interested in them, black people get confused as shit for some reason. So now black folks are going to have to understand that sex is not the end-all, be-all. Sex with somebody in the dominant society, you're still going to have to worry about what you're going to do about empowering yourself. You understand?
I completely agree with you.
Yes, indeed. So just because these white girls with ass are choosing, still empower yourself, because they're not going to disempower themselves. They're going to
I know what you mean,
they're
man.
going to keep all their wealth, and they'll frolic with you and all that. But at the end of the day, they're going to keep their wealth and resources in their community. And
exactly.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you for the call, brother. Okay, this brother's okay. We got to stop being confused. Again, you can date whoever you want to date. Sisters, if there's a white guy you like, knock yourself out. But don't be the bed wench. Brothers, if there's a big booty white chick who's winking at you, that's cool. Do what you do if you want to, but don't start cooning out. You know, this nigga, you thought that was call worthy. Some white girls chose up on you. You calling the show just beaming with pride. All right? White girls wink at me all the damn time. I'm not calling up nobody making an announcement about it. Shit. Dudes get happy and celebratory. This nigga went and bought some cupcakes and put candles in the cupcake. He's dancing. Oh, shit. God damn. All right. Hit it and split. All right, white girl like you, hit it and split. Do what you do. Don't celebrate like you just won the damn clearinghouse sweepstakes. Good Lord. Elijah Muhammad said that. He said that the white supremacists, they're going to start throwing the women at you heavy, and that's going to confuse niggas. Niggas get confused when some white coochie is in their face. Niggas get confused, man. What's wrong with y'all? Hit it and split. Yeah, there's some attractive white women out there. I'm not one of those people, the white woman is the devil and shit. There's some cute white women out there. Hit it and split, though. Now, some of y'all ain't even get with cute white women. Just because she white, y'all niggas are just, ooh, shit, she white with a big ass. My God. Y'all don't understand the game that's being played. I'm going to talk about that in my lecture in Detroit and Philly. I'm going to really get in that. I'm going to really break that down. And this happens not only here, but in Africa as well. I got to break all that down. I got to really break that down. That's why y'all need to come to my lecture. My lectures. Also, man, we need to find a venue in Atlanta. And also a venue in New York, too. What's up? Who's calling?
Tariq, is Ivory from Thailand. What's happening, bro?
All right, what's going on, Ivory from Thailand? How you doing, fam?
Pretty good, man. Been trying to get through for a while, man.
Yes, indeed. What's going on out there in Thailand? What part of Thailand you in?
Man, I'm still in Chiang Mai, but I'm about to head down to Bangkok for a little bit and go kick it there with some friends and stuff.
Are you out there teaching? What are you doing out there?
Yeah, man. Teaching and looking for opportunities, man, to start a business. So I've seen a couple of things out here that I'm interested in.
You got you a little Thai wife out there, brother?
I had one, but I had to let her go, man. They're intense, man. Too intense.
Oh, well, shit. Why'd you have to let her go? What'd she do?
Oh, I didn't want to get on a relationship thing, but she stalked me, called immigration on me, all that stuff.
Oh, damn.
You know?
So you had a Thai hood rat.
I got to go, man.
My man, you had a Thai hood rat. I ain't never seen a Thai hood rat. She's doing shit like that.
Let's talk to them, man. Nobody even knows. It's like the same culture, but it's just Asian.
Yeah. I love it out there. Me and my wife, we love Bangkok. The food is great out there. We love it out there.
Oh yeah. So you know what? The thing is, I want to tell people about that, man, because a lot of black people are coming to Thailand, and it's great because a lot of these people are like, we're doers, and what we do is we link up and exchange like secrets on like how to get around the world, how to start your own business, how to develop websites and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's like a mecca right now we call them digital nomads.
Yeah.
And so it's really empowering. Like we say, like, as soon as you see another black person walking down the street, you just like, oh, hey, what's up? And naturally, the nod, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you just stop and talk. And then we exchange all this stuff and like, man, we're glad you're out here, give dap and like exchange.
So where are the computer? Really nice. So all the computer people, where are they centralized out there in Thailand?
They're spread out. So it's whatever you find your niche. So some people like to, tend to stay to the beach, or I like in this area because my city is known for definitely digital nomads, people that work online, are entrepreneurs.
Okay. So is that what you're doing out there too? You're doing the digital thing?
Yeah, I'm doing the digital thing. So I did some consulting work for a company in Australia for immigration, and did some telecommunication sales when I lived in Australia, but I transferred the work over here.
Okay.
And then I did some teaching just to keep some steady money.
Absolutely. And also another thing about Thailand, man, your money goes a long way out there too. Your money, a lot of folks.
Yeah.
You can get a real nice house out there. Yeah, people really don't know. You can get a nice goddamn house out there on the cheap, man. So
you get a nice house for $300.
Yeah.
It's like 3-bedroom, bathroom, 2 baths, kitchen.
Oh yeah.
300.
Because it's like we saw like a mansion out there that we were like, shit. It wouldn't be so bad living in Thailand. We were literally thinking about moving to Thailand because it was so cheap and it's nice out there. So again, folks need to really go out there and see what's happening. So what else is going on with you, brother?
Yeah, so I just want to touch on some things about your interview because I heard about this interview and the last interview I think you did on RT. Yes. I actually caught that.
Yes.
I woke up out of my sleep. I heard your voice. I was like, is that Tariq?
Oh yeah, it was on TV out there. Yeah, I forgot. RT is like worldwide. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was kind of upset they gave you Max and they didn't give you Tom Hartman.
Okay.
Because he's just not a good interviewer. I think Tom would have been, a little bit more focused on when you're delivering the message.
Yeah.
This other guy, he just lets you speak. He didn't want, go too deep.
Yeah.
I mean, can you just touch on that, how you felt about that interview?
It was cool. It was a cool interview with them. We talked about some basic stuff. I steered away from all of that. The government and, it was almost about to get into some conspiracy talk. And I like to focus on white supremacy. I don't get all off into the Illuminati and the Bilderbergers and all that old shit. I stick to white supremacy. And I kept bringing it back to that, bringing it back to to systematic racism. But it was a good interview. I liked the interview. The guy was good. He was respectful. And, it was a quick interview. So it was cool. Max was cool.
Yeah, but could you get another interview with like Tom though? I mean, I'm not trying.
I have no idea who he is. When I went out there, I literally left the airport, and the publicist told me to come to this station. So I don't know who was who. I never even heard of some of these people until I got there. So again, yeah. So but I'll find out what's what when I go back out there. I'm definitely going to go back out there to Europe and do some more stuff. And they just send me to whoever. You dig?
Right.
All right, but thank you for the call, brother. Okay, I can't spend it all night, man. Go eat you some goddamn Thai rice, brother. All right. But yeah, we got to get out here and travel. We got to travel. Where are my people who've been to Africa? I want to go to Senegal, Ghana, and Gambia. I want to go there. I'm trying to go. I was going to go this month, but I might go next month. So I'm trying to get out there. I want to get some information before I go out there. I'm talking to the embassies to get all my visa information and all that together now. But I do want to go to Ghana. And Ghana, they got direct flights from New York to Ghana now. Because I wanted to go to Ghana a couple of years ago. And at that time, the flights were a beast. The only reason I didn't go a couple of years ago is because the flights were insane. You would have to fly to Germany, then Italy, then Dubai. You had to do some Indiana Jones shit. So now they got direct flights directly to Ghana. So yeah, Delta. So I definitely want to go to Ghana. Like I said, try Rwanda. So go to Gambia first. Y'all hit me up. You hit me up at info@tariqelite.com if you've been to some of these places or if you're there. There's a lot of my African brothers who are there. Let me know what's happening so we can make it do what it do when I get out there. Does Ghana still have the right to abode for African Americans? Because I want to look into that too. All right. And don't forget, man, my lecture from London, I'm going to have that up pretty soon. My London lecture, that's going to be available pretty soon. That, as a matter of fact, that'll be up this week. It's called International Racism, and that's going to be for sale. The whole lecture, real good game, so I want everybody to get that. Oh, yeah, I talked to Dr. Boyce about that. Dr. Boyce was in Africa. He was over there in Africa. Don't forget to go to Hidden Colors Film. Get Hidden Colors 1, 2, and 3. I got some brand new shirts coming up next week for TariqElite.com. Go to TariqElite.com. Yeah, I've been a minister for years. Yes, indeed. All right, let me get up out of here, man. Let me go check on my babies upstairs, see what's going on with my children. All right, y'all, I'm up out of here. I'm a holla. Peace.